Hello all loonies and normals, my name is Joe Silver, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the items that get left over in your pocket at the end of certain games. Now let me be clear, I'm not talking about things like Tomb Raider, games like that where you pick up med packs and other type of items like that. I once actually completed a Tomb Raider game where I had so many med packs in my pocket that when I accidentally set myself on fire, yes, that was possible in that particular game, I still completed the game because the long corridor I was running down it, trying to escape the collapsing rubble, and basically I kept spamming my med packs to keep me alive just long enough to get there, and I got to the end bit and finished the game. And so yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you play through a game, whether it's point and click or some other type of game where you pick up items that have only one use, like puzzle games, yeah? And you're going through trying these items with everything that you find because you've picked them up, so they must be important. And you get through the whole game and you complete the whole game and you look and go, well, what the heck was that for? Because you never did find a use for it. That's what I'm talking about, not things like COD or Tomb Raider or anything like that. I don't play COD, I've completed some of the Tomb Raiders, and I understand that in those particular cases, having items at the end makes sense because you need those items right to the end. See, take for example, like I say, point and clicks, like Broken Sword, Monkey Island, so on, so forth, yeah? Each time you play through those, you pick up certain items. Now, for sometimes when you go to pick up an item, the character will say to you, this item is of no use to me, what do I want it for? I'd rather, or make some other comment to tell you not to pick that item up. It's no good to you and to leave it alone. And that's good. But with some items, you'll go that, and instead of saying, well, this item is of no use to me, they will pick it up, and you're thinking, oh, good, that must mean it's important. So you go through the whole game. You can manage to somehow complete the whole game. Yeah, and you use trying all the items on everything that every single item until something clicks. And then at the end of the game, when you've got to the end game, to the final boss, if you will, you've still got this one item, or these one or two items, and you look at it going, I never did find a use for them. Now, some of you might say, well, what about secret areas that you missed? And trust me, when I play a video game, secret areas usually get missed, because my opinion to video games is once the credits roll, I've beaten them. So sometimes secret areas get missed. I mean, I know there are completionists out there who have to do everything 100%, find every secret, do everything, and the game is not complete until I've done everything, and people like that who get a bit OCD about it, there are them. But I'm not one of those. Once those final credits roll, once the last credits roll and it's clear that the game is over, then it's over and I've beaten it. But have you ever noticed sometimes when you get to that point, there are still items left in your pocket that you've carried all this time and nobody knows what they were for because you've tried it all on everything just to try and get them to work, and you found no use for it. Basically you're left with this rubbish, this junk. See, not every item you pick up is junk, because some of them you need them, like keys and loo brushes, believe it or not. Yes, in Broken Sword you needed a toilet brush. Yes, that's a different story altogether. But sometimes the items you pick up are complete junk and you're left with them through the whole game and you have no idea what they're meant to be used for, and then you complete the game and you think, okay, what was that for? And some people, because of that, go through the game again, looking for that item, looking for a secret area or somewhere that they've missed, because that item has to have a use, and it never does. And it's like, why do they do that? Why do they allow you to pick up junk if it is just junk? Because, see, Monkey Island gets it right. With Monkey Island you can pick up all sorts of junk, and they add junk to you on purpose as a joke, yeah? But when you get to a certain point in the game, you're following a recipe, and during the course of following that particular recipe there's certain items that you have to put into a pot. Now, obviously, if you just put in all those items and move on, then you're left with the junk that you picked up to that point. However, if before you put the last item on the recipe in, you put in any other junk that you don't want, anything else that you look and say, well, I can get rid of this now, I've finished with it, yeah? Then you can end up with very few items, if any, left at the end of the game, because everything you pick up then is something that you use, and you end up with probably one or two items, like the root beer bottle and maybe the mints that you pick up along the way. That's another story I won't go into, because I don't want to spoil the game for you guys if you decide to play Monkey Island, although I think by now pretty much everyone has. It's an amazing game. However, if you haven't, then so be it. But my point is, that one does it right, because you can get rid of all the junk then, and you don't end up with it in your pockets at the end of the game. Like the items that you've used and then picked up again, and they actually don't have any other use, but it allows you to pick them up again. Because that's another thing. I mean, some games you'll use an item once and then you go to pick it up again. Do I need it again? And they'll pick it up and put it in your pocket. You think, oh, I must need it again, and you never do. So instead of turning around and saying, this item is no longer of any use to me, I don't need it anymore, leave it alone. However, in whatever humorous and funny fashion they want to say that. Because let's be honest, the point and clicks and the other puzzle games like that, where you pick up items as you go along, a lot of them were not meant to be taken too seriously. A lot of them were meant to be silly and funny and hilarious. And they really were. And so, yeah. So what I say is, sometimes I think it would be really funny is if when you go to pick up an item, they break the fourth wall a little bit by saying, oh, I don't want to have this still in my pocket at the end of the game. And it's like, yeah, some people would complain and go, oh, they're breaking the fourth wall, why did they do that? I wouldn't. I'd be in absolute stitches. I'd think it absolutely hilarious, because that would be so funny, because it'd be that self-awareness that computer games aren't supposed to have, but when they do have it, you just laugh because it's really funny. I mean, yeah, I think it would be absolutely great. Now, like I said, some games get it right, and I'm not saying that I don't like point and clicks. I've played them. I've completed quite a few of them. Now, some of them were the solution was so ridiculous, you went, how the heck am I supposed to think of that? But that's a vlog for another time. That's perhaps maybe another week's vlog, yeah? About point and clicks and how their solutions are so silly or insane or make no sense. Maybe I've already done this one under game logic, but if not, I'll do it for another time. However, right now, what I'm saying is, haven't you noticed how these items follow you through the whole game, and you keep trying them and keep trying them and keep trying them, and nothing you try them with works, because they are just junk, and because you get left with them at the end of the game, and then you're like, why? What was that for? Now, some of them are done that way deliberately, perhaps as red herrings, because they don't want to make the game too easy. Well, fair enough. But my point is, I wouldn't complain if they made jokes about it, said, oh, I don't want to be left with this at the end of the game. I wouldn't, really would laugh at that. And I would think it great fun. And I really have enjoyed playing point and clicks. I think they're great games. I mean, I played Day of the Tentacle, I played some of the Broken Sword series, I've played both Monkey Islands. Actually, I think I played more than both of them. I think I played the third one as well, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I played Monkey Islands, although there are actually 5 Monkey Island games, but I don't think I've played them all, though I've watched some of the others. But I've definitely played the first 2. Those were brilliant. I really loved those. So, you know, I'm not against point and clicks. What I'm saying is that sometimes you get left with junk in your pocket, and the question is, why? Anyway, I have rambled on quite enough about this subject. So if you've enjoyed this content, you know, please leave a like, leave a sub, you know, leave me a comment down below saying what you thought of this content, or if you have opinions on what I've talked about, again leave a comment, and I will see you next time. I've been Joe Silver. Goodbye.